What is it about Kabhi Mein Kabhi Tum that we love? I feel like we're getting spoiled. Like, it's just setting the bar really high for things that are never going to happen for us. I don't think she's greedy per se. She's just like, Mera beta, meri bahu. My mother the other day was like, please, जब seniors की बात कर रहे हो, you have to say G or Sahiba. So Bushra, Ansari, Sahiba, क्यों कर रही हैं आंटी ऐसे? Like, we hate you. And I think that's exactly what you wanted to achieve. Stop stealing your best friend's man. Where I think we are being toxic when we talk about Rubab's accent. But like, it's not an authentic accent. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of So Much Drama with me, your host, Khizra. So today, we're finally going to discuss the bane of all of our existence, the reason Mondays and Tuesdays are tolerable, the reason we rush home and we want to get everything done and plonk ourselves in front of the television on the couch. Kabhi Mein Kabhi Tum. What is it about Kabhi Mein Kabhi Tum that we love? And I've been thinking about this a lot. First of all, it's not some crazy, extraordinary story. It's not like one of those unexpected Noor Jahan type dramas where like you're seeing like this big evil matriarch story. It's a story about a family. It's a story about a hero-heroine. It's a story about an antagonist. It's a story about one girl who just doesn't want to see everyone happy. It's a very domestic kind of drama. Why are we obsessed with it? These dramas have been happening forever. And then I was thinking that we're finally getting to actually zoom in on a family drama. Like, yes, family dramas have always happened, but they've just happened where people are fighting or someone's getting married or someone's marriage is breaking, and we're so obsessed with the bigger details, the wedding functions, the jahiz, the kahani, the shadi ke functions and everything. We've never actually sort of delved into the nuances of characters, the nuances of their relationships. This is like watching an actual proper film broken down into little bits for our own convenience. Because we're actually getting to watch a romance blossom instead of like high speed में सब कुछ किया जा रहा है क्योंकि end में शादी होनी है. We're getting to see the character development of the villains, about like what that origin story is, because none of the bad people or the villains in this drama were actually like evil. There's an origin story. We're getting to see real life, to be honest. We're getting to see ourselves in a lot of the characters. We're getting, a lot of people are resonating with Fahad's character. A lot of people are resonating with Adeel's character. I mean, somewhere you see yourself in Adeel also. A lot of people are resonating, a lot of girls are resonating with Sharjeena, Rubab. There's a bit of Rubab in all of us. So that's the interesting part. Instead of falling in love with like the bigger picture, we're falling in love with characters. We're building actual relationships with these characters, and that's why we go back every week to see what is happening in the lives of these people we've fallen in love with. So I think that's what's got us hooked. This blossoming romance, this dramatic marriage of convenience, the old parents who are trying to decide if their nikamma son is the bad one or if their like perfect, handsome, successful son is good. That's exactly how family life is. That's exactly how desi family life is. It's complicated. It's got layers. And we're hooked. We want to see this family come together or fall apart, or how they do it. We're taking notes, we're watching, we're nodding to each other, we're sending each other messages, we're making memes, we're making hilarious memes. So I mean, it's safe to say we're captivated, and I don't know how we're going to survive when this ends. So let's break down the characters a bit. For me, one of the most interesting characters, to be honest, is Adeel. He's the antagonist in this situation, but he's not your regular villain. He's not like killing anybody. He's not like being straight out like evil or like harming anybody. he's doing the things we see in the capacity of like family life. He's ambitious. He married his boss's daughter, who is super rich, for the money 3 days before, or like how many days before his actual wedding with Sharjeena. So he's essentially like a mail order bride. Um, he's still sort of like, he's basically cutting into like the relationship his own brother has with the family. He's jealous of his brother, who he technically shouldn't be, because his brother's like a good for nothing failure, doesn't make money, doesn't do anything, and isn't like well groomed and stuff. But like, you know that Adeel is jealous of Mustafa. So
But isn't it really awesome to for once see a male gold digger?
I love it. I love it. And I think that's the fun part. We're all obsessed with this antagonist because, first of all, he's very pretty. He's very nice to look at. He's so well groomed. He's not like badtameez and lecherous and like disgusting and like just where you get these feelings. He's like a अच्छे घर का brought up लड़का जो तमीज से बात करता है, सब कुछ करता है. And he is the brother of the character we love. So we're kind of like torn. We're obsessed with seeing what Adeel's next move is. We enjoyed seeing Sharjeena tell him off. We loved seeing Sharjeena tell Rubab that like, I didn't have to buy my husband. Which was like, everyone was like, yes, yes, somebody finally said it. At least I was doing that. And like the fact that Adeel was just standing there like, how dare you? Was like the cherry on the pie. So I feel like we've all sort of fallen in love with hating Adeel. And no matter what he does, we're still going to want to know what his next move is. We want to see the downfall of Adeel, even though he's not like a conventional villain.
But he's not a bad guy.
He's not. See, he's not. That's the thing. The layers.
He takes care of his parents.
He takes care. So that's the thing. He's not like a straight out villain. We're angry at him for what he did to Sharjeena. We don't like what he's doing to Mustafa. He's a good son. But like, how is he a good son when he's creating tension in the family? That's also another thing. Like, I feel like ghar ka mahal kharab nahi hona chahiye. And Adeel is actively ruining the mahal of the house. Like, look at how bad everyone was feeling after the whole like money drama situation. So that's Adeel. Who's the other character we talk the most about? Rubab. We're obsessed with Rubab, and it's been a long time since we became obsessed with like a female character who isn't like the heroine of the drama. We're obsessed with like, oof, Rubab ke baal kitne lambe hain. That's so like, is it a wig? Is it not? We're obsessed with Rubab's accent, which is like, I don't know why, but we all sort of like, you know, kahan se aayi hai? Kahan se ye hai? Wo hai? Like, and I think it's another one of our habits of like really tearing apart the female character. This is, I mean, I'm not proud of this part, but we talk about that a lot. Where like, I was just having this conversation with someone, like, she's so bad. And I was like, you know what? She's not bad, actually. I actually think she's doing an amazing job of being this rich, entitled brat who just thinks everything is going to be her way. And she's so like nonchalant about it. Oh, auntie, I just saw this car and I really liked it. And like, but you know what? I feel like despite all the hate that Rubab is getting, she's doing a brilliant job. Are we living in the same house? I felt it and I get it. So Rubab is also one of my favorite characters to hate. So I'm going to give her that. Fahad Mustafa. I love the chalaki here where like his character is named like, well played, Fahad Mustafa. Like that's like a boss move where like your character is Mustafa. Why are we falling for Mustafa? We're falling for Mustafa because he's at first glance, he's everything you would not choose in a guy. He's like not groomed, not well put together, doesn't have a steady job, sleeps all day, stays up all night, is only doing londabazi with his friends outside, dhabe pe baitha rehta hai, like just doesn't have his shit together. But then he's also showing us that he's like a legit green flag. And I know now we've understood the concept of the red flag and the green flag, where Imad Irfani and like Adeel on paper and in a photo is the green flag for any parent. And Fahad and Mustafa is the red flag for any parents. But then you swap them. Adeel is all the red flags. And Mustafa is all the green flags. The way he treats Sharjeena, the way he stands up for her, the way he comes through for his father when his father is unwell. He has no money. He's just started a new job, but he's like, I'm gonna pay for this. Where like he doesn't want to spend his wife's money. He's doing her assignments for her just to like make her life easy. He's constantly like uplifting her. And I think a lot of women are falling in love with that because this is what every woman aspires to have. I think, yes, you want stability, you want a good house, you want a well settled husband, but you also want a man who treats you well, who respects you, who will make others respect you, who will treat you well, who you have like those moments with. I mean, not like grand gestures of romance, but like just those like little moments of like sitting together and eating dal together and like chane together and like riding on the back of a motorcycle. Just these little moments. But this is only Mustafa. I don't know how in real life this would work out. But Mustafa's getting his act together. He just like got his video game approved. So like fingers crossed he makes it big. He gets richer than Rubab and Adeel. So we're rooting for them over there. Now let's talk about Sharjeena. Sharjeena is probably the most straightforward character. She's a heroine of this drama. She's really pretty. She's really nice. She's a good daughter in law. But at the same time, we've seen her stand up for herself in front of her mother in law, where not by being disrespectful, but just being assertive, like, how this wasn't my fault. You saw that she was misbehaving with my sister and my brother in law. Why is this my fault? Or constantly taking a stand for herself or very politely putting her side of the story forward. So we're seeing her sort of be like a model bahu, where we're also not seeing her be a doormat. She is to an extent on the back foot because she also knows that this family, their golden child, rejected me, and I've sort of forced their other son to marry me. So she's sort of in that place where Bushra Ansari is also not happy. Okay, this is the reason my son got kicked out of the house. So she's sort of staying on the back foot. But where she sort of protects herself is that, or where she sort of like wins out, is that she's found the perfect ally in Mustafa. And that saves her every time. And I think initially it would surprise her, but now it's just become second nature that they've got each other's back. So Sharjeena, as simple as the character is also a very interesting character to follow because she's a modern desi woman where she's going out to work, but she's also expected to come home and do the chores. She's a good wife. The expectation is that she's a good wife, but then she's also got a husband who's treating her well. So I think that aspiration of every woman, every desi woman is being fulfilled in the relationship that we're seeing of Sharjeena and Mustafa. And I think that's half the fun watching Bushra and Sahiba. And I have to like, my mother the other day was like, please, jab seniors ki baat kar rahe ho, you have to say G or Sahiba. So Bushra and Sahiba is doing such a brilliant job of being an unfair mother. She is that mother who is so predictably on the side of her golden child. The good looking one, the rich one. He's not successful on his own merit. Yes, he had a good job. He studied in school, got a good job, had like a suit and tie job. But he like married for money. And where once she told Sharjeena कि हम बहुओं के पैसों से घर नहीं चलाते because Sharjeena just bought groceries, now it's perfectly okay that Rubab is paying for the hospital bills, Rubab is getting new furniture in the house, Rubab is like getting you a car. That's okay. हैं Bushra auntie क्या बात हो रही है? So like honestly, that's my reaction every time. I'm like, क्यों कर रही हैं auntie ऐसे? So I mean, I think she's doing a brilliant job of like that situation where Adeel is constantly like fueling her, like burrowing her against Mustafa, and she's like, बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो तुम. Rubab कितनी अच्छी बच्ची है. So clearly, she has no insight into what kind of people she's surrounded by, or she has no like concept of how people are. She's very like, her worldview or like her sort of assessment of people is very one-dimensional, and we're seeing that. Javed Sheikh, Sahab, Mummy, Sahab bola. Javed Sheikh Sahab he's everyone's dad. He is so everyone's dad, that endearing, cuddly dad, lost in his own world. Mahal acha karne ke liye he's telling old stories. He's very upright. I'm not going to take anyone's money. Why should we take anyone's money? Let's live within our means. And I remember an earlier episode when like he was doing the wedding planning for Adeel, and Adeel gave him some extra money. Okay, oh, my office people are going to come. Let's plan, like, please do good decor. And he was like, I'm doing good decor. We're doing a really great job. And Adeel was like, no, ye extra paise hain. Let's just make it look classy. So he's just such a like nice dad. And I think just in that character where he's like the fountain, like he's just keeping it all together, I think he's doing an amazing job. What other characters do we want to talk about? Who is, huh?
The sister.
No, I don't think there's much happening in her sister. Rubab's evil bestie. What's her name?
Natasha.
Natasha, you are just out of line. Like, you are out of line. Rubab is your bachpan ki best friend. How are you going around cheating on your best friend and stealing her husband? Like, that is not on. It is not Rubab's fault that your dad married you off to whoever you didn't want to marry because of this business merger or whatever is happening. That's not fair. And it's like, I don't want to talk about it because I completely don't condone it, but you're doing a really good job of it. I think that's my only takeaway. Like, we hate you. And I think that's exactly what you wanted to achieve. Stop stealing your best friend's man. I mean, the last two episodes saw us sort of like, it's a very like filmy Bollywood type of vibe where like, you know, Khali Jabe and like finding this, you know, she's like this privileged girl. She's lived a nice life and she is like the perfect wife where he's like, let me drop you off to your parents' house. Let me find a decent place for us. And then I will come get you. नहीं Mustafa, मैं तुम्हारे साथ रहूंगी. And even I was like, bro, I'd go spend like 2 nights at my parents' place and not like stay in a dodgy motel. It does not diminish my love for my husband. I would totally go and spend the night at my parents' house and be like, yeah, call me when you find a place. It just seems reasonable. But to each their own. I don't want rats around me and I don't want like dodgy men around. But the last two episodes, so that's what the last 2 episodes were. I think the last 2 episodes were more about focusing on their relationship. Where finally, I think the last 2 episodes were an homage to their relationship or their budding sort of romance. It's still budding. So how, without all the other influences around them, without the parents, without Rubab and without Adeel or without anyone, they're finally alone together to deal with life on their own, whether it's cooking, whether it's cleaning, whether it's like hiding from rats, whether it's like the mattresses not showing up on time, getting the saman for the house, like from dustbin to like sheets, and how like, you know, the endearing parts where Fahad is supposed to get a cooler and some curtains and he gets like the the Chania, and then he's like, kya mayyat ho rahi hai kya?
Yeah.
Like that cooler, that signature cooler that's at all of these, shouldn't be laughing, that is at all of these places. But like,
But you had sweet moments too, like when they woke up in the morning and he noticed that the sun is
yeah, that
hitting
the
her.
sun, I feel like we're getting spoiled. Like, it's just setting the bar really high for things that are never going to happen for us. But
At least in dramas.
I know, at least in dramas. And it's happening in slow mo. It's happening like in a nice paced drama. I am sick and tired of our dramas trying to like be like Indian dramas where like someone twirls and falls into someone's arms, or like you're walking away and someone grabs your arm. And I was like, you know what? The reason a lot of people gravitate towards our dramas is the slow pace of it. The not rushed over it, like overly like over the top kind of expressions of love and whatever. I'm seeing a lot of that in a lot of dramas, and I'm just like, yeah, this is nice. This slow motion love. I'm liking that. It's wholesome. And I feel like we've lost so much wholesomeness from our lives with all of this like all of this content on like OTT platforms and a lot of other like things where everyone's competing to like look evolved and modern and everything. And I feel like this is how falling in love should be. Slow and steady and consistent and like Sasta and tikao. This is 100% sasta and tikao. So I think that's what we're falling in love with. And I think the last two episodes were essentially that. Where like her parents show up and they're like, we're going to take you back. And I was like, go with them. It'll be a clean bathroom. Take a shower in your own bathroom. And she's like, nay. Nay.
But you gotta give it to her. She's standing by her man. I think that's what
she's
the theme
making
is.
the rest of you all look bad. She's making the rest of us look bad. Not that I've ever been in that situation, but I'm just thinking there's nothing wrong with wanting to go back to your parents' place and sleep in a comfortable bed, go into a clean bathroom while your husband, a guy who could sleep over at a friend's place also, hustles and finds you a good place. It's perfectly okay. So even though, I mean, it's very sweet watching it in dramas, it's very different in real life. So let's not... I have also commented on her accent. And I feel like the whole discussion about Rubab's accent ke American hai, lekin words ki pronunciation wrong hoti hai. Like some words are so desi sounding and some like where she's trying to put on an accent. Like, what are you doing? I mean, let's admit it. It's an elitist take. It comes from a place of privilege where we have had access to certain private schools or a certain kind of upbringing where we knew how to pronounce certain words, or we grew up around people who knew how to pronounce certain words. And nobody's gonna go do a deep dive on whoever, on the the background of Rubab, or the young lady playing her part. I should know her name, but sorry, ADHD, I forget names. You don't want to get into that debate, but just the fact that we're all like, she is elite class. Why is her accent so like Pendu sometimes, but so like American sometimes, and like clearly she's not like a proper burger. Imagine having these conversations, and we're having these conversations in our DMs, and I mean, I'm guilty. I'm having these conversations too, but at the same time, I swear to God, my friends will attest to this, that I'm just like, wow, this sounds really elitist, and it's a really elitist thing for us to say. It's a very like has from someone having gone to like kya kehte hain, like a convent or like an English American type schooling. So you can say things like that, but there is a certain section of society who is very fluent in English, who went to good schools, who has good jobs, who is probably not noticing these plot holes in Rubab's accent. So I guess like we're all guilty of being toxic. Where I think we are being toxic when we talk about Rubab's accent, but like, it's not an authentic accent. Oh my God, this last episode where she was like, I'm just going to go to the US, and then I'm going to go somewhere far. I'll go to Alaska with my friends. Like, I mean, maybe people go to Alaska with their friends, but like, if you're going to say it on a drama, a lot of people like, Alaska? Itni baraf mein kaun jata hai? Like, people don't have context for Alaska. Like, maybe there's a lot of fun happening in Alaska. Even I don't have context for Alaska. So maybe Rubab knows something I don't. Maybe a lot of fun happens in Alaska. But my perception as like a lay person was like, Alaska? She doesn't want to go to like Mexico or like the Bahamas. So I'm telling you, Rubab is like I said, you can hate her for all the things that, irritate every one of us. Oh, bad styling, bad hair, bad accent, blah, blah, blah. I think she's doing a brilliant job. I think she's one of the standout characters of this drama. Yes, Adeel is doing a brilliant job, and Iwad Irfani has really like redefined what it means to be like a villain, because like girls are so conflicted. They're just like, oh, but he's so cute, but like, oh, he's so bad. So it's just one of those things where we haven't really decided how we feel about Adeel. So keep doing whatever you're doing, because you're doing it right. But I think Rubab is brilliant. I think, and Fahad Mustafa is just very seasoned. So I don't think he could go wrong. He's amassed a massive fan following across the border. Apparently, I have friends telling me.
He offered them
A free apartment in Delhi in exchange for more episodes. He's like, please Fahad bhai, 4 episodes kar de, 2 episodes nahi. Which I agree with. Like, honestly, 2 episodes, like Monday, Tuesday, yes, the week starts off really nice, and then you're just like, ab kya kare? Like, you can't even go, it's not even like an OTT platform where I can just go watch the rest of the season. I have to wait. And I think that's genius also, making people wait. I'm really I think that's also one of the successes of this drama, that I don't, because of the pace of it, I cannot predict what's going to happen. I mean, to say that his app will hit it big in the next 2 episodes would be like very premature. To say that Rubab will come back and catch Adeel and Natasha, that would be premature too. To say that everything falls into place so the parents have a realization that, oh no, Mustafa was not bad, Mustafa didn't steal the money, that's also premature. Even though, like, I know that in the next episode, Mustafa's sister will go to her father and be like, do you also believe, like everybody else, that Mustafa stole the money? So I saw that. I remember that bit. So I'm waiting for that conversation to happen because I know Javed Sheikh he's not happy. He was telling his wife that you put me in a really bad position, that I'm indebted to someone. And for a lot of like, that there's this narrative that middle class people or like a certain tabka, हमारे पास हमारी self respect ही तो होती है. There is nothing more than our self respect. Money comes and goes. People come and go, but my self respect is very valuable to me, and that's my biggest most valuable asset. So he's upset that he's become so indebted to Rubab that he can't even assert himself in front of her. No, I don't believe you that Mustafa did this. He's so like in emotional debt and literal debt also. So I feel like that is going to be an interesting conversation next week, which I'm waiting for. Also, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next week.
This drama has had, I think, the most memes, honestly.
I feel like
the amount.
There's this one really hilarious one of like Fahad Mustafa wearing like a black tank top and it has like little slits here. And there are legit like tank tops for girls that are very like trendy. And he's wearing that. So I think there's like a meme of that. And I was just like, listen, he's just trendy. He's just on trend. Don't hate him for that. Don't hate him for being trendy. What other memes? There's a lot of memes about that like interaction between like Sharjeena and Rubab. That तुम्हें पैसे चाहिए थे तो मुझसे मांग लेती. That whole like
the dust.
इतना dust of कभी सफाई करवा लिया करो. I was just like, bro, that was a very like that whole situation was such an anxiety moment because I come from a family of people with OCD. So like when they were throwing everything around, I was just like, ye saaf kaun karega? I was like, oof. So it's safe to say we're all obsessed. It's safe to say we are all hooked every Monday and Tuesday. It's safe to say we love to hate Adeel and Rubab. It's safe to say we love watching Sharjeena and Fahad become the model couple, which we can guilt our husbands into becoming. And it's safe to say we're all waiting for everyone to have that moment where they're like, shit, we got it so wrong. We're all waiting for things to start falling into place where Sharjeena and Mustafa emerge as the only two people who were on the right side of history, of life. So yeah, and the thing is, I'm very relaxed because I'm not like, oh my god, it's going to end very soon, because I know there's a lot that's going to happen now. So, I mean, this is one of those moments where I can't even be like, ab ye hone wala hai. I literally don't know what's going to happen because this drama is so well made. It's so well written that I'm constantly guessing what's going to happen next. So, let's see what happens next, what happens on Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll have a little moment next week where we break it down. But until then, this is me, Khizra Munir, signing out from So Much Drama. That's the thing, nah. We've never, like I said, with all of our dramas, even because we're so used to daily dramas and all of these other dramas, we never focus on the character development. We're focusing on the plot development constantly. कि अब क्या twist होगा? अब कौन मरेगा? अब किसकी शादी होगी? अब किसके साथ बुरा होने वाला है? We never actually develop characters that you can fall in love with. I saw this previously in also Jaane Jahan. That was like a Hamza Libasi and Aiza Khan drama. And I saw the character build up. The character development in that drama was also really done really well. But again, here, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why we're so invested, because we're finally getting to know characters. We're not getting to know a drama. We're getting to know characters. We're not following the drama, we're following the characters, because we feel like there are family members, we feel like there are friends, we feel like we see like us, a bit of us in all of them.